What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing today? What's going on? What's going on? All right, man. Happy Thursday to everybody. Happy Thursday to everybody. Thank you guys for being here. If you guys can hear me okay. If you can't hear me okay, somebody say, boy, shut up and fix this audio. All right, we good. Raquel is in the building. Ron Bryan is in the building. Come on, we gotta go to the sanctuary and see who's in the sanctuary today. Let's see. Adrian Nash is in the building. Ron is in the building. Jenny. Love Jenny. Jenny's in the building, the greatest moderator, female moderator of all time. Ron Bryan's in the building, moderator. Come on. M. Mills is in the building. All right. OG Patrice. It is so good to see you guys today. Today, you guys saw the thumbnail. Yeah, you guys saw the thumbnail. The thumbnail today is the black woman's body, the devil's playground. Yeah. Give me just a second. Hold on a second. Let me fix this real quick. I'm back. I have to fix that audio real quick. All right, but anyway, yeah. So, yeah, Brittany B, you missed it. You missed it. So thank you, Brittany B, for being here. Don, GQ, I'll open it. So, guys, I'm going to open up the line some days not. I will open it up today. I'm going to be short in my thesis today, per se, and then I want to open up the lines to see what you guys think about what's happening today. The black woman, especially black women, I definitely want to talk to you guys. Black women, the black women's body is the devil's playground. Today we're going to talk about, if you don't know this man, I want you to participate in the chat. James Marion Sims. All right, before we get started, let me know if you know who James Marion Sims is. Put a 1 in the chat if you do not know who he is. If you do not know who James Marion Sims is. Okay, Miss Mills says she does not know who James is. Marion Sims is. Brittany B, no, he's not a Motown singer. She is so crazy. OG Patrice, right, there you go. OG Patrice is now we're getting close. Yeah, there we go, Von Bryant. Come on. So y'all know it, right? The father of modern, I don't even want to say it. The father of the modern gynecology, guys. You know what? Let's talk about him. All right. Let's make sure. Let's bring him to the forefront here. Let's bring him into the sanctuary this morning, and let's see what he has to say. Right? Because this is y'all. This is the guy. This is the father. Talk Hill says Suge Knight. No, but he could go for him though. Suge Knight. He could go for him. There he is, right there. This is James Marion Sims, the father of gynecology, the devil. Mm-hmm. There he is. Take a good look. This is what evil looks like. This is what evil looks like. He is the worst thing. OG Patrice, put your comment here. OG Patrice is on the same level I'm on this morning. He was the worst thing that ever happened to black women. Period. Guys, if you're just coming in right now, thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for continuing to just support the channel on my road to 1,000. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button as you're coming in. So we can get to that road to 1,000 and continue to build this network and build this content. We'll get there. With their help, we can get there. But yeah, this man, James Marion Sims, is the worst thing that ever happened to black women. The black woman's body, the devil's playground. Y'all take that in. Take that in. Just look at it. I'm gonna give y'all 10 more seconds with this guy. All right, so let's move forward. I want to give you guys that moment with him. Make sure you keep your eyes on that face. All right? Keep your eyes on that face. Now, what we're going to do now is that I have a professor that's going to speak with us today, and she's going to tell us a little bit about him. Now, before I do that, I definitely want to uh, give a little synopsis on this guy before I let the doctor come in and say what she has to say about this guy, right? Because it's a lot. It's a lot. And we're going to discuss it after we listen to the professor. Now, it says James Marion Sims, born January the 25th, 1813. He died November the 13th, thank God, 1883. Was an American physician in the field of surgery known as the father of gynecology, but also a controversial figure due to the ethics question raised by how he developed his techniques. His most significant work was the development of surgical technique for the repair of the vagina, a severe complication of obstructed childbirth. He was remembered for inventing Sims speculum, Sims sigmoid catheter, and Sims position. However, as a medical person, Varian H. Lerner states, one would be hard pressed to find a more controversial figure in the history of medicine. Sims developed his surgical techniques by operating with anesthesia I'm sorry, I don't want to be disrespectful to the enslaved black women that he destroyed, but the techniques by operating without anesthesia on enslaved black women in the 20th century. This was condemned as an improper use of human experimental subjects, and Sims was described as a prime example of progress in the medical profession made at the expense of a vulnerable population. Sims' practices were defended as consistent with the United States in the era in which he lived by physician L. Lewis Wall. And according to Sims, the enslaved black women were willing and had no better option. He's speaking for the women. Yeah, the devil. Yeah, he was the OG Patrice is on it this morning. He was the devil of modern gynecology. Okay, here we go. Sims was a writer. He published reports, blah 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 blah. His positive self-presentation has, in the late 20th and 21st century, has been subject to revision. Right. There's nothing positive about that. He lived 70 years. He should have lived 15. Okay, so we're gonna go to um, nobody can explain it better uh, than Dr. Joy DeGruy. If anybody know who she is an amazing professor. And so Dr. DeGruy I'm gonna have Dr. DeGruy come in here and explain to you guys um, about Mr. Sims. And so Vaughn, Brian, or Jenny, if you're still in there, go ahead and give me that fair use. I'll go ahead and say it first. Fair use. All right, we're using this as fair use for educational purposes only. Fair use for educational purposes only. All right. Vaughn, thank you for that. Please be advised this subject may contain content that can be both triggering and emotionally provoking. This is in no way intentional. Right? Does anybody know who Dr. DeGruy is? She's a very intelligent black woman that teaches on the matter of PTSD, post-slave uh, traumatic disorder or something. I think that's how she does it. But here we go. Fair use for informational purposes only. Let's get started.
It was J. Marion Sims. I won't spend a lot of time with him. He's another figure. You can Google him. There's a statue actually of him in Central Park. And J. Marion Sims was an individual credited. He was the father of modern gynecology. How many women in here know what a vaginal speculum is? And for those men in the room that we lost, a vaginal speculum is a device designed to open up the vagina. It was considered one of the most important advancements in medicine that was made. He was credited as being the wealthiest physician to have ever lived. And what's interesting about him, look at the medals pinned on him. I was just very curious about how it was they regarded this man, because no one ever really looked at how did he come up with that vaginal speculum. The way he did it was he actually worked on unanesthetized, did experiments on unanesthetized slave women. He created a makeshift hospital in his backyard in the mid 1800s. He built the first vaginal speculum from a pewter spoon. And he reasoned that slave women were able to bear great pain, meaning we don't need any anesthesia, because their race made them more durable and thus they were.
Okay, can you guys hear me? So, is that video low? I hear OG Patrice saying the video is low. If that's for everybody, let me know. I'll try to find a better version of it to play. So, if it's a real low, guys, let me know. Give me a 1 if it's real low volume and you can't hear it. And because if that's the case, I'll find another. I'll try to find another. Yeah, so yeah. So let me know. Give me a 1 if that video was too low. It's good? Okay. All right. OG Patrice, okay, they said somebody said it was good. I want to make sure everybody's on the same thing. Let's see. Because if that was too low, I definitely. Okay, it was good. Brittany B, you know what? I just can't stand you today. I just can't stand you. I love you. Okay, all right, guys. So here we go. I'm gonna start it back up. Let's get it back in here. I'll start it over for those who just came in. If you just came in, please go ahead and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button as well. And let's get back to Dr. DeGroote. 1 second.
And it was J. Marion Sims. I won't spend a lot of time with him. He's another figure. You can Google him. There's a statue actually of him in Central Park. And J. Marion Sims was an individual credited. He was a father of modern gynecology. How many women in here know what a vaginal speculum is? And for those men in the room that we lost, a vaginal speculum is a device designed to open up the vagina. It was considered one of the most important advancements in medicine that was made. He was credited as being the wealthiest physician to have ever lived. And what's interesting about him, look at the medals pinned on him. I was just very curious about how it was they regarded this man, because no one ever really looked at how did he come up with that vaginal speculum. The way he did it was he actually worked on unanesthetized, did experiments on unanesthetized slave women. He created a makeshift hospital in his backyard in the mid 1800s. He built the first vaginal speculum from a pewter spoon. And he reasoned that slave women were able to bear great pain, meaning we don't need any anesthesia, because their race made them more durable and thus they were well suited for painful medical experimentation. We didn't even, because we didn't feel like other women could feel. This man would cut into women, cut into them, and just said, well, since they're black, they don't really feel it. Unbelievable. And more importantly is what he did to infants, because not only did he experiment on women, he also experimented on infants. He said that black infants suffered from something he called trismus nascentium, which is now commonly referred to as neonatal tetanus. Neonatal tetanus originates in horse manure, which was the likely cause of the disease in slave infants. He attributed it to the indecency and intellectual flaws of slave infants, together with skull malformations at birth. That is a shoemaker's awl. And that's an 1800s shoemaker's awl. He would stick that into the heads of brand new infants in an effort to realign their skulls based on the indecency and intellectual flaws of their parents, to treat the malady. Of course, it was 100% death rate. But that's what he would stick in the head of a baby at birth. And so these are things that are so horrific that you can't possibly wrap your head around it. And this man is, just Google him. And you think to myself, I think to myself, if I were up here in front of you right now, and this is going to become very important as I move into the other slides. If I stomped a puppy to death out here, up here, just a little puppy, and stomped it right here to death in front of you, most of you would need therapy. And I would be arrested probably faster than killing a black man for killing a puppy. How could you do that? Do you realize how much dissonance you have to remove in order to stick that into the brain of a child? More importantly, the child can no longer be human. Are you understanding what I'm saying? The reason why he could do it is they weren't human. They didn't even feel pain. That's what this man believed. Now, you may look at that and go, those are horrific things from the past. There's a book out right now, not table reading. It's called Medical Apartheid. This is written by Harriet Washington, came out last year. This book chronicles the experimentation on black people up to contemporary deaths. See, we want to look at the Tuskegee experiments. We want to look at Sims and go, oh, that just still going on. Implicated, Harvard, Johns Hopkins, because we weren't what? Human.
All right. So, guys, woo, that's tough, right? That's tough, right? That's tough. What I want to do now is discuss that, but at the same time, I want to open up the lines here and have people come up and actually talk about this. Um, Anybody that wants to come up. So I'm going to drop the link at the top of the chat. If you want to come in and discuss this matter, feel free to come in and discuss it. But that's tough to hear that this man is recognized, highly recognized, for his highly recognized for his play in the destruction of black women. Highly. All right. So let's go ahead and bring up OG Patrice. OG Patrice is so good it'll be so good to have her in here. So give me just a second to get her in here. All right. OG Patrice, I'll welcome you today.
Grand Rising, good morning. How are you? Salute to you in the chat.
What's going on, OG Patrice? So OG Patrice, we've talked about this before and behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
And so I know where you are with it. And so I want you to give your narrative on what you think about Mr. Sims and what do you think about what you just heard from Dr. Dubra?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this this topic this morning. Even though I know it can be very triggering to some people.
Mm-hmm.
I know for me as a woman, as a black woman, especially when I first stumbled upon Dr. Joy DeGrugy and thank you so much for uh, showing her some of her work and teachings that she do.
Right.
And I stumbled upon her on YouTube, and I learned a wealth of knowledge. This woman is absolutely brilliant. People like her, black women like her, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, Dr. Claude Anderson. I've learned so much from our black brothers and sisters that are doctorate degree, PhD degree people that I think that is a wealth of knowledge of teaching us so much about our black history. And upon stumbling upon that, when she did mention the book Medical Apartheid, I ordered that book about 2 years ago. So during the pandemic, I did a lot of reading, and Medical Apartheid was one of the books that I read, and I absolutely was totally appalled by the things that was done to our people. We were literally guinea pigs. We were literally animals, property used, black women and babies, especially in medical apartheid. It just I was absolutely outdone. I could not believe that no matter the race, that another human being can do the things to another human being that was done to us. And the reason why I fight so hard, black men, and you know I do. The
Hmm.
reason why I fight so hard for ADOS and the thing and then the atrocities that was done to our people is for things like this very reason. And for me to have to fight people that look like me is absolutely appalling to me as well. Um, Seeing that we were property back then, our ancestors were property back then, and seeing that even now today, the medical atrocities that are done to black women, especially women that are pregnant, that go in for any type of care, prenatal care, medical care, just care in general, are treated like second class citizens. We could be in pain. The thing is, they think that because of these atrocities that was done to our ancestors, they think that black people in general, especially black women, can endure astronomical amounts of pain. That's just how they label us in society, and the things that the government, like I said, allowed to happen to us was absolutely, and this is why we are owed reparations, because we were used and abused like property, like cattle, like animals. They saw us less than human. And I want to be clear because I want people to understand that we are not that far removed from this shit. That things like this in the medical industry are still happening to black women. Black women, when they go in, we are 8 times higher to be treated less than our white counterparts. I want to be clear about that. So thank you so much for educating us. Um, to know that black women that were slaves and their babies were used. We were used for him to do all kinds of OB-GYN work on us, on our ancestors, without anesthesia. I want y'all to let that sink in. Without anesthesia. This man had his nurses that he would bring with him to hold these women down. And he would even get some of the slave men and women to hold these women down to endure this type of examination because he was trying to create an instrument, the spectral, that instrument that is used right today when women go into the OB-GYN. That was created by him off the backs of our black women ancestors.
Mm.
So, as a black woman, if you don't feel appalled by that, I'm sorry, you don't have a soul or a heart. And to know that they used a shoe, like a shoe wrench, to go into the skulls of the heads of black children, black babies being born, for him to do examinations on black babies. And I want to be clear, this was not done on their own children and their own women. This was done on us because we were their property and we were considered less than human. So for me, yeah, that's why I continue to fight so much, because we are owed so much. We are due so much. It is not a goddamn handout. And I'm sick of people saying that. And I'm sick of people talking about the victim bullshit when we were the victims. We were victimized. Yeah, we were victimized and we is owed this. So it definitely makes me feel a way when I fight every day, when I'm in meetings every day with ADOS to get reparations for us for the atrocities that was done to us. And let's be clear, going through Jim Crow era, Reconstruction era, and now up to right now, we are still in some way considered less than humans when it comes to black women's bodies and the portrayal of them. Henrietta Lack is a prime example of that.
Exactly.
That woman's cells was taken and given and used as an example to test to have cures of things like that for her and her family is still living today and fought and could not get. They still fighting to try to get some type of recompense for that, to try to get some. They had to sue and they're still denying them, and they've made billions of dollars. The medical industry have made billions of dollars off this woman's sale, passed it on to all of the big major medical institutions. So when you have people like myself, Angela Stanton King, that's going to fight for women's rights and things like that at Congress, when we march and when we talk and when we protest and when we say things like that, to hear people that look like you talk the shit that they talk about black culture and the black history and the black community, it is absolutely appalling. And I don't understand when black people are going to get mad enough to start doing something about it, to start fighting back. So I thank you. I thank you so much because I'm so passionate about this. I'm listen, I'm
So
so
am I.
passionate about our people, and I'm so passionate about what I know that we deserve as a people. When
Exactly.
you look at every other race that was and don't tell me no more about pulling ourselves up by the goddamn bootstraps. If I hear that again, when every other race that was given reparations, that's how they was able to pull themselves up by the bootstrap. It's because they received the reparations. They received a head start. You have some black people, of course, that was lucky to gain wealth and have wealth and work. And I'm not telling nobody not to have that and go for it and work to get what you want. But I'm talking about when it comes to, we know that there is no equality between our race and other racial entities and what they've gotten in society. There's no equality there. When you already 450 years plus behind the goddamn eight ball, and you done had every monkey wrench, kitchen sink, the stove, the oven, and everything else thrown at us. But yet they want to say we don't deserve reparations. We don't
Mm.
deserve what is owed to us. We don't deserve the debt that is owed to us. They want to call it victim Olympics and victimhood and victim shaming and victim this thing. Listen, they can go head on with me with that one, because that's why I fight so hard. I fight so hard for me. I fight so hard for my son. I fight so hard for my grandchildren, so that maybe one day, if I'm not living to see it, there will be some justice done. And it's easy to sit behind a keyboard, and it's easy for people to sit behind that ain't doing a goddamn thing to help they race the people to say things that they say. And it's things like this that makes me angry. When I worked in healthcare, I saw the disparities. I saw the unfairness of how we was treated as a people, black people, especially black women. They think that we can literally endure more pain than any other race of people. Is that not insane to you all?
And yeah, and to interject real quick, I'm gonna let you keep cooking because you're cooking. But to interject, he said that the pain in one of his journals, if you read his journals on there, ooh, that'll blow your mind. But his pain, he said the pain was almost what word did he use? He said that black women have a supernatural ability to not deal with pain. He said it's amazing the supernatural ability that black women have when he's cutting into them and they say nothing.
Black man, that man had women died on the table
Yep,
while he was doing these experiments. Babies died while he was doing this experiments. Women bled out while he was doing these experiments.
exactly.
You understand?
And one died, he'll say, "Bring me another slave."
And when they die, they go and bury them in some shallow grave, and you bring the next woman in. They had these women lined up for these exams. And to title him the father of modern gynecology is a disgrace, and it's despicable. That's why we fought so hard for those goddamn statues to come down.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because I'm sick and tired, like you said, we have to pass by, walk by, go into buildings of the very people that caused the atrocities to us, and we just go think just nonchalantly about it. But it's in our face every goddamn day, and every goddamn day they tell us we need to get over slavery. We don't need to talk about it. We need to just forget about it. Why are we the only race of people that's told that? They never tell no other race of people. They don't tell the Jews to get over Holocaust. They don't tell Japanese to get over Pearl Harbor and the concentration camps that they were in. They don't tell the Native Americans to get over what happened to them. I'm so goddamn sick of our people. We are still fighting the fight. If you don't believe systemic racism still exists in the system, look at that judge that just sentenced Kim Potter, that
Yeah.
gave that police officer 2 goddamn years. And she cried when she had to give the police officer 2 years. But when Dante Wright's mother got up there and spoke, she had no sympathy for her. She shedded not one tear for Dante Wright's mother, but she shedded a tear for the goddamn woman that deleted that young man. Do you understand what I'm saying? And
Yep.
they still say systemic racism doesn't exist because it doesn't affect them directly yet, but yet it indirectly affects us all. So I need our people to listen. We got to do better. God damn, we got to do better.
Yeah, man. And that's the second part that I wanted to go to on this, um, because as our people, uh, um, we deal with a lot of post traumatic disorder as well, and that was the second part to what I wanted to bring to the forefront today, with Dr. DeGrew, because I have I clipped these things out. I brought these things to light because people need to hear it. Now I can sit here and teach it all day, and I think sometimes I do an okay job, but I want her because she has dedicated her life to this, and so Dr. DeGrew is an amazing, amazing tool, guys.
Yes, she
To
is.
go and listen to what she's teaching, read her books, and she's just an amazing professor, and so the next clip I wanted to play had something to do with that. So can you stick around, OG? You good?
Sure, I'm good.
Okay. And I'm gonna bring Jay Takashi up as well, and we'll get his comments after the video. Okay, Jay, how you doing today, man? It's
He's
that
on
mute.
mute.
He
Yeah,
got
yeah,
that mute, but yeah, how you
yeah.
doing? How you doing today,
You know,
bro?
I'm doing fine today, guys. I'm taking a little break off work right now, but I do want to say this, OG Patrice sister. I hear what you're saying, and I'm one of the ones where it's like, I actually want to tell you something. And one of my chill out streams, me and Jedi specifically had a conversation about this when it came to getting reparations, because I know you know Jedi Mike, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, because I think you should really conversate with him about this too. But we came to a consensus because he came out with this idea, well, not idea, but this thought. Literally, yeah, literally said, and I agreed with him. If we get reparations, black people, and then after that, I'm talking about like the full on everything. And let's say we have the right people in charge, and if nobody's willing to conform to do what they need to do in order to get our community back on going, the people out there trying to help, like you, my man Black Man Unfiltered, and also some other cats that I know, and it still goes down, then there can't be no other excuses. And I did agree with him on that. I'm like, dude, if that happens and things still don't go like, if it goes left, if we don't kick out the people who don't want to, I'm not saying kick them out. I'm talking about like you're not part of helping, then they're exalted. That's what I would say. Just get the ones that want to help. The younger generation, of course, if they want to help along, because we're trying to steer them straight to a time and place that we did where we were all together and actually we had a community. We were running our own little Wakanda which I love that term because that means we were together and we was all about our business, nobody else, and not up in anybody else's business but our own, which we should be. Those matters that don't concern us around, I guess, outside the other race or whatever, that ain't our problem. We our own problem. We take care of our own stuff. And I was in a thought process with Mike when he said that, and I'm like, dude, you're exactly what you just said. Because if we're doing this, then it has to be done right. Reparations or not, but we got to clean this crap out the way. And I said, listen, the best way to do it is stop talking about it and just be about it. Go do it. If that means I gotta go to Asia and then come back with some ideas that could personally help us, or go to Africa to go get my roots to know what work, what would fix it, then I would do that. I would do it. I don't care.
And
If
Jay,
that means I
so
gotta, like I said, if that means I gotta be over there just to learn things, so we can just learn where our roots are at, I will do it. Go ahead.
Jay, and just to say that, that you even saying that and your young mind, you and Jedi Mike, and I appreciate that because Jedi Mike has said on many panels when I've talked about ADOS, and I've broken down how the reparations and should look like and what it should look like, because it's a big misconception that people think it's just giving us a check and let us go on by our merry way. It is so many resources that we lack in our communities that we don't have. We don't have infrastructure. We don't have land. We don't have businesses. We don't have schools. We don't have hospitals. We don't have grocery stores. Healthy growth. It's a lot of things, resources that we can use and utilize in our neighborhoods. They took all of the after school programs out, and the rec centers and things that I had when I was growing up. They no longer exist because government funding took them out. But I'm working with politicians right now in the state of Arizona because Antonio Moore, which is Tone Talks, and Yvette Carnell, which is Breaking Brown, they are the founders of ADOS, and they want me to start an ADOS movement here in the state of Arizona to get a chapter here because they don't have one. So these are the things that I'm working on in real life in real time. And when I sit on platforms like Black Man Unfiltered and I talk about all the disparities that is still going on in the Black community, people seem to think that they are far removed from it because right now it's not affecting them directly. And that's the biggest
Exactly.
problem. So when you talk about community, we got a lot of selfishness going on in our community because it's like, as long as I got mine, I'm not going to worry about the rest. Well, if
Right.
everybody, and that seemed to be what we all own as a people, and that's why our community is so despaired right now, is because we have that mindset. There are a few set people that are doing the work, but these are people that are not in the limelight, you guys. These are people that are boots on the ground doing the work for real. But see, they not there for the spotlight. They not like you have your Tamika Mallory's and your My Sons and your Sean Kings. They're not there for the photo ops and in it for the money. These are people that are no name people that are in the community doing the damn work, but they go unnoticed. So they're not doing the work for the get the shine and the glitz and the glitter. But we got to realize, guys, that we are still behind the eight ball here. Just because some of our celebrities has made it, and you have things like the entertainment industry and media and social media that hypes up sexuality more for Black women, we are still being caught up in that because of those very things. Roles that some Black women have to be portrayed in the movie industry. All of that is a part of this, guys. And this is the thing that we are missing. And this is what make us as a community overall, that we're missing the bigger picture, is that we are still in trouble.
Right. And you know what you just said is leading into what my next thing is about some of the fight that we have between each other as a culture of people. That fight continues because we don't have any reference. And I thought this second half of this, because I want to talk about the Black woman's body, the devil's playground, which we discussed. OG Patricia did a wonderful job discussing that. And so now I wanted to get into the post-traumatic disorder of our culture that may contribute to some of the stuff that we're seeing today in our community, as far as violence, as far as the crab mentality, the crab in the bucket mentality, all that type of stuff. And so I wanted to, this is fair use for informational purposes only. And I want to play this one, OG. So J and OG, we're going to look at this one real quick in just a second. All right, fair use for informational purposes only. Here we go.
We get into the Casual Killing Act. The Casual Killing Act was written because of the number of people who were killed while being corrected. Okay. And if any slave resists his master, owner, or other person by his or her order, correcting such slave, and shall happen to be killed in such correction, it shall not be counted felony, but the master, owner, and every other person so giving correction shall be acquitted of all punishment and accusation for the same, as if such accident had never happened. So that means that if you happen to be correcting someone and you beat them to death, you know how hard it is to beat someone to death? I mean, I thought about that. I said it happens so frequently that they created a law so that you wouldn't feel any what? No guilt, because you were simply correcting them. It wasn't your fault. So I went back to look at who was beating folks to death. I wanted to know. And it was white women. White women were beating black children to death. That's who was being beaten to death. But it wasn't her fault. She was just correcting them. You see, what we do is we rob ourselves of our own humanity when we refuse to look at this stuff. We rob ourselves of our humanity. And that's what people didn't know happened. Going forward, one more. Then you had the mental health folks. This is how we got in. We got in to try to fix it. In the early years of the 19th century, a physician named Samuel A. Cartwright argued that two particular forms of mental illness caused by nerve disorders were prevalent among slaves. One was drapetomania, which was diagnosable by a single symptom, the uncontrollable urge to escape from slavery.
Wow.
So now what we've done is we've now pathologized your desire.
Wow. Let's just pause there for a second.
Let that sink in.
Let that sink in. They gave you had a mental condition. They gave you a mental condition. They really diagnosed you with a mental disparity because you had an urge to escape from slavery. That is the manipulation at an all-time high, to make someone feel like they need to be in captivity. That's let's continue.
To be free. Must be something wrong with them. Keep trying to free themselves. And again, it would be funny if it weren't in journals. You see, all of this is to remove the cognitive dissonance. Now we have, look at all the people joining in. You got Linnaeus, you got anthropology, you got physicians. All of them saying they deserve it. It's not us. We don't need to adjust anything. And if they just tried harder, how about you people just pull yourselves up from your bootstraps? What's the matter?
Oh, OG.
There go that word. What
there
they say all the
is.
time. Let's see what she got to say about that.
Okay, here we go.
With you, the playing field has been leveled. Well, we're going to see if, in fact, it's been leveled. Or is that conjecture? Move forward. Now, I want you to look at this photo very closely, and I want you to see who's in it. More important than the man hanging, because you got to understand the lynchings that occurred in America happened after slavery, not during. Thousands of lynchings happened after slavery, because this is a reaction to white fear of what we would do once freed. But we didn't create a vigilante group to take out white people, but they did create a vigilante group to take us out now that we're free. See, that happened after slavery. They were called the what? The Ku Klux Klan. They don't wear hoods anymore. They wear suits. But they're alive and well all over the world, even here. So look at who's in the picture. I want you to look at this little girl in particular. You can't see her closely, but she's actually grimacing, like smirking. Now, remember, let's go back to the puppy concept here. She would be loathed and torn up probably if this was a puppy, which means he's less than that, because she's not disturbed. This little girl is not disturbed by this, but she should be, shouldn't she? People always ask me, they go, Joy, what was the impact on white people. There it is, right there. Can't feel any empathy for him. None, zero, zip. There's a little one back here, even smaller. Because whatever she's been taught or told, socialized to believe, makes him no longer human. That's the greatest danger to white people, is that they can't feel it. And there's a reason why white people can't feel what we're talking about. My God, what would you then feel? It's tough. So I've got to believe, oh, it's all over now. It's not my fault. I don't benefit. It's not a big deal. Let's move on. It's not all of those things. But we don't say that to Jewish people. I dare you. But you have to understand, when you unearth this one, that's what we did to our children. Let's move forward. This is a similar photo to the one that is used in Denzel's movie. Now, and again, most important, this is a man that's being burned. Also, I won't read the depiction, but there are newspaper accounts of this. It's written in a book called 100 Years of Lynching by Ginsburg. No pictures, just newspapers that say not only did they burn him, they decapitated him, cut him into pieces, and used parts of his body as things to put on mantles. So people would say, get me a tongue, would you, or a liver, a little crisp, so I could put it on the mantle. Now, again, I want you to look at the folks. I want you to look at who's here. We're not talking about the toothless, big gut, hooded wonder, are we? We're looking at plain old, common, dressed up folks. They're squeezing, please, I want my picture taken. Are you following me? This is somebody's cousin, uncle, somebody. And the ability to do that, dehumanize this man and rob them of their humanity all at the same time. All at the same time. That is the most dangerous, treacherous thing that could happen. What did Hitler do? He dehumanized human beings, put babies in ovens. Anything that robs us of our humanity is a danger to everyone. And that is what's going on with people of African descent all over the world, because not only did it get done here, but who did we tell the entire world? We told these people don't deserve any value. Everyone wants to be American, not y'all. But when we go, I literally go to countries all over the world. America sets the standard, and thank God for what happened later. Let's move forward. So a lot of people start saying,
And OG, I'll just let you cook first.
No, I just I will always keep speaking up on behalf of the ancestors, minds, and anyone else's, even the voiceless that don't speak on their own, because a lot of us are not educated on it. A lot of us just choose to, turn a blind eye, choose to not to want to know. I went on my journey for my ancestry about 2.5 years ago, and the things that I discovered, and then just listening to the stories of my mother, my parents, listen to the stories of my grandmothers before they passed, learning a lot about it, our history and our ancestry. My mother and father were sharecroppers. They came out of Mississippi. So just out of the civil rights movement and Reconstruction, they were from Mississippi, and they picked cotton. My mom and my dad. I said this many times on panels. My father had to drop out of school in the 6th grade, guys, to provide for the family. So when you release their great great grandparents out of slavery and into poverty where they had no goddamn bootstraps, they had to become sharecroppers by force and work for pennies on the dollar just to even survive. So these are reasons why I fight. The fact that when Medgar Evers was murdered, I'm sorry, deleted in Jackson, Mississippi, which is my parents are from Greenwood, Mississippi, and Jackson, Mississippi. When Medgar Evers was deleted, my dad joined the NAACP and they were ran out of Mississippi by the Ku Klux Klan. They had to sneak my father in the trunk of a car in the middle of the night, and that's how my parents migrated to Chicago, Illinois. And that's yet said why I was born in Chicago, Illinois. My mom was pregnant with me when this happened. So I'm not too far removed from the ish. We're still not too far removed from these things. We choose to have our mindsets to be so, but when things don't affect us directly, we think it's okay long as it ain't me. But let the first time your son or your daughter get stopped by a police officer and get treated away. Let the first time you go into a hospital and you see the difference in the way you're being treated as opposed to your Caucasian counterpart. Let you have a situation at your job where you know that you're being treated certain way differently from your Caucasian counterpart. Let certain things happen to you in your life, and then you're going to say, now I see. Now I see what they was talking about. But see, that's the thing about us. We wait until it happened to us. Then we want everybody else to jump on the bandwagon and help instead of us helping each other now, globally, as a whole, as a community. It has to affect us directly. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between other races of people and us. See, when the Jewish community fought for their reparations, they fought as a whole, as a community. And the thing that they have and other race of people that we don't have, that we need to start paying attention to, even the Hispanic community, even the Asian community, they have a code and they stay on it no matter what. We are the only ones that are still divided and still fighting each other. It's like the biggest trick the devil ever pulled is to try to make people think he didn't exist. The biggest thing that ever was done to us from slavery was divide and conquer. And we are still divided right to this day.
Wow.
That is our biggest problem. And we had a code once upon a time coming out of, well, the civil rights. We were on code as a people, beside a selected few. Because remember, we had that was a black woman that knifed MLK. Remember that? That was a
Yes,
black
ma'am.
woman.
Yes, ma'am.
See, we all listen. See, what happens is we always let the other people come in and infiltrate COINTELPRO and infiltrate us, and we buy into it, and we get somebody that look like us mad at us, and they come in and infiltrate, and that's what has knocked down so many of our institutions and organizations. Black Panther, COINTELPRO, the Move organization that happened in the 80s in Philly. I don't even know if people know about that. Man, look up the Move organization and what happened with that and what they did to those people. Went in there and bombed their building with their women and children in there. This is what the government did to us. Allowed it, sanctioned it, permitted it, and no one ever paid for it. The same way no one ever paid for the things they done to us with slavery. So when people tell me that we're not old, oh, we're old. So
Yes,
when
sir.
you talk about the Black Panther movement, when you talk about all of these different organizations that has killed our leaders, and that's one thing about us too. See, once they kill our leaders, then everything dies off because they feel like because they killed the leader, ain't nobody else got to fight. Nobody else steps up to the plate and become that man or that woman or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I
that's what
agree with you,
happened to
OG.
us. So. That's that's
Yeah.
that's what that's all I want to say for that right now.
All right. Oh, well, OG. See, the funny thing is about this, I actually know of a practice that's done to slaves, and I don't know if you guys have all heard it, but it's called the Willie Lynch litter. Have
Yeah,
you heard of it?
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what they would do, they would take the biggest slave, and they would show, and just to make an example, to make sure other people would never rise against you, to literally make you mentally mess you up. They would take him and they would mentally and physically break him down to the point where they would have the idea to never rebel or escape. And that's something that we're still dealing with the ramifications of. I'm not saying like exactly right now, but within that time period, oh, people always say like, is it rebel? Like once you do that to somebody, it's hard, like it's worse than torture. Is what I tell them. And that's something that we can't ever take lightly.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I wanna respond to
I'll put it back up. I'll
Canadian
put it back up.
statement because the fight that's going on now, the fight that's going on now between uh Tariq Nasheed and the Caribbeans, it's not a fight that that Black African Americans started, Canadian. I think you know that. I think you know the history behind that. I think you know that how a lot of immigrants came over here and how they treated us. I think you know that that fight actually started the other way around, and it's just openly now on on social media, the things that is happening. And I hate to see it because again, we're not on code. But when you have to fight people that look like you, that's the worst part. How can we fight the other things outside our walls when we too busy fighting each other?
Agreed.
That's that's why I say I'm not gonna get on panels no more, and I'm not gonna fight and argue and debate no thing, cause my fight is bigger than this, guys. I'm not
Right.
finna fight with people that look like me. I'm not doing it. Of course, it goes both ways. Canadian, I agree. It's absolutely going both ways.
Yeah.
And I
But
want to
but
interject.
I'm talking.
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
But
please. I'm
no,
sorry.
let me just finish this little part. But I just want to say that if we can't learn to work together and get on code for the good, the greater good, not because of your feelings is hurt by something I said or done, left, you go right. If we can't come together for the bottom line, and that's what we're missing as a people, the bottom line, which is the fight for equality for our people. If we can't come together with that, because people can't get out their feelings and emotions, oh my God, we in trouble.
Yes, ma'am.
That this is all I see is we're fighting each other online. And I know what you're saying, Canadian. I'm talking about the Black American people versus the African immigrants and the other
Immigrants.
immigrants. And it's
Yeah.
sad that it's this way, but it should not have to be. But I should not also have to listen to immigrants come over here and dog our Black history
Right.
when we
That's
fought
a problem.
through civil rights for you all to even have the right to come over here as immigrants. Don't insult my intelligence.
Preach,
So
sister.
it's that part for me. It's either get on code as a people, period, and let's fight the powers that be outside of this shit, not each other. God damn it. I
OG.
digress.
I I no. OG sister, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It see one of the things that just baffles my mind, why like why the heck are we going after each other? Can you please explain that to me? I've been trying to figure out the answer to this for so long.
Okay,
I
I'm gonna
spent
give it
like a
to you
whole year
raw,
thinking
Jay.
about that. Go ahead.
Jay, I'm gonna give it to you raw. Okay. And for the people on the panel, the people in the back, the people in the chat to listen to this. See, this is the brainwashing that our other counterparts do to us and did to immigrants. See, because everybody knows that Black people are the lesser thans. Nobody wants to be like us until it's time to be like us. Nobody wants to claim us till it's time to claim us when it benefits them when it comes to grants, scholarships, school work. But they come over here and then they get on the side of the enemy because they're told, don't talk to those Black American people because they ain't nothing. Their culture is nothing. Their people are nothing. See, I know I went through it myself coming up in the 70s and 80s. When I had to fight with some girls that moved in our neighborhood from Ghana, and they came over thinking they were better than Black people, and they called us names and they talked about it. They didn't want to have anything to do with us because they was too goddamn busy trying to be white. Okay? So they come over here and then we get treated. We get treated by them like trash because they come over here and get brainwashed. See, every other race wants the convenience of being Black when it's convenient to be Black. I'm just going to be real. So I don't care how many Black colleges Kamala Harris went to, because she was one of the main ones that was voted for, and she never claimed Black at all until it was goddamn time for her to be Black when she was running for vice president. And then she sit on platforms like what's that radio station with Charlemagne and them,
The
and
Breakfast Club.
sit and talk about, I'm not gonna just do anything for Black people. And then your president, well, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. He said that on the Breakfast Club too. But see, this is what we get. This is the results
Yeah,
we
I
get.
remember that.
Then we put them in office, and then they do absolutely nothing for Black people. But it was convenient for them to talk the Black talk then. This is what they all have done to us. And if it wasn't for us fighting for immigration through civil rights up until right now, ICE and all of that, and DACA, but then they come over here and then they don't want to have nothing to do with us. And we are the last on the totem pole for every goddamn thing. I don't understand when Black people gonna get goddamn mad enough, because I know I did. So I don't know when we gonna get mad enough. I don't know what is it gonna take. They killing our babies. They killing our Black men. They killing our Black women. I'm sorry to keep using that word, deleting. When are we gonna get mad enough? What is it gonna take? Is everybody gonna continue to be in their own selfish mode of things? I've been in the entertainment business for over 20 years. I made nice money working for a lot of celebrities. I could have turned my back on my people, but I have never did that, because you know why? Because I got a Black son. I got Black brothers. I was married to a Black man. I was out there fighting and protesting, damn near about to get my ass handed to me by the police that was trying to stop us. So when I hear Black men on panels talk to Black women like garbage, talk and say stuff like they do, and we talk to each other like garbage because Black women do it too, it makes me sick to my stomach.
Hey man, I just hey Black man, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
Man, Jay, what's going on, man?
Not much. I wanted to come in, chime in,
I,
and
I,
kind of
I
back
again,
up.
I digress because I'm really like, this is getting me in
Don't
my
get
feelings right now. So I'm
No, don't get
I'm
discouraged.
digressing. No,
I'm getting.
I mean, I'm digressing. I'm gonna let somebody else talk because y'all know me.
Gotcha.
I'm long winded. So
Hey,
I'm
No
gonna
no,
problem.
you good, OG.
And
That's
the thing is, Patrice, I'm actually here to kind of reinforce and back up some of the things you said here today, because of some of the things I've seen and the information I've been privy to.
hey, man, Dre,
Listen.
real quick.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna let B9 go. He came in first, and then J
Oh,
Pam. How
yeah,
you
no
doing, J
problem.
Pam?
No problem. Go ahead, B9.
And then I'll let her go, and then we'll come to you, man, Dre.
And JP.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Go ahead, Brother B9. I appreciate y'all having me up here, though.
no
Thank you.
problem.
Likewise, and I'm here all for OG Patrice's words, point blank, period. And what she said, you've heard me say numerous times before. And I've come to the conclusion that people such as myself, Patrice, J Pam, we have to stop fighting with each other. And I want to go on record and once again truly apologize to you, Patrice, because once again, if you felt disrespected by what I said, I own that. And I take full responsibility as a man for that. So, because we need to align. because we're the ones that literally are outside in these meetings and on the community level, on the ground roots level, really doing the work. And we come to YouTube to actually report the news to the people that aren't doing the work that we do. And we have been tricked. We have been tricked into a rack of BS and like you said, going against each other and finding reasons not to align versus finding reasons to align. And that's why y'all haven't seen me in the past few weeks. And if you have seen me, you've only seen me talking unity. Now, do I say it the way that everybody likes to hear it? Of course not. I'm B9. So of course, I'm never going to give it to you the way that, it's easy for you, because these ain't easy problems that we're dealing with. What Black Man Unfiltered has been putting on his network for the past 2 weeks is that real shit. Is that real stuff that we really need to be talking about, addressing, not any of this other nonsense. Miss Patrice, and I'm not picking on you, but I say this, Patrice, but I notice how Patrice has stopped using the K word and has used the word deleting instead. Well, that's because of YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. And when are we going to put rules over ourselves where we stop using language and stop doing things that hurt us, and there's no rule and there's no governing body? When are we going to govern ourselves and say, you know what? If such and such doesn't like to hear these type of words, maybe we shouldn't use these type of words, because our mission is bigger than using these type of words. But we're so busy trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. And please subscribe to Black Man Unfiltered and support his channel. But it don't stop there. That's just the beginning. We have to get off our porch. We have to actually go outside and actually do and personify the words that we all eloquate so beautifully. Or those words aren't shit. And from now on, anybody that has anything to say about anything other than unity, you're not talking to me. You're not talking to me at all. I do not go from platform to platform promoting people, my people, for any other reason than my people. And like I said, this is the smallest thing I can do. I'm not leaving my house to do this stuff. But we all need to get off the porch and actually go outside and actually unite together where we're needed. Because while we talking all this smack on YouTube, like I said, Black Man Unfiltered just showed us a video of what's really going on. And it's not a thing of the past. This is present information. I brought up on panels before that Black women don't understand till this day what tampons are doing to them. They don't understand till this day all of these feminine napkins and all of the other chemicals. There's a reason why Black women have to get hysterectomies at a higher rate than other races. There's a reason why, and it goes right back to what Black Man Unfiltered show. It goes back to what Patrice is talking about with Henrietta Lacks, the Evers boys. I mean, the list goes on and on how we have been lab rats. And we are the most studied, but yet the less educated of the two. So we got to stop all this BSing and all of this. Oh my goodness, her voice is too loud, or he's too feminine, or that. Man, I'm done with all of that nonsense, y'all. I promise you. Because if you are a beta male and you willing to work for the same cause that I'm working on, and you actually can bring value to it, bring your beta ass over here to B9 so we can get some work done. If you are a loud, emotional woman, but you know how to handle that emotion and direct it toward the people who need to feel that emotion, bring your ass on over here to B9. Because I'm already married, so I'm not looking to get married. I'm looking to help my people. And I know the process that's going to help our people. Everything that Patrice has said, I have said. And there's a lot of things that I have said that I have gotten from OG Patrice. So I know that we align. So let's stop all of this BSing and let's get to work for real, because Patrice said it best. When you cut the head of the snake off, all you got is a pair of belt and a pair of boots. So understand that I've put myself on Front Street. Black Man Unfiltered has put himself on Front Street. Sir Hale has put himself on Front Street. OG Patrice has put herself on Front Street. J Pam has put herself on Front Street. Align with us, or get out the way.
J Pam?
I just want to say something right quick.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
B9, when you first apologized to me, brother, I already forgot about it. I hold no ill will. We good. You didn't even have to do it again. We good, bro.
That's how I'm built, OG. I'm built.
I appreciate it, but
Yeah,
we
I'm
good.
built different.
We good.
And I'm proud on how I'm built. And like I said, when I apologize to you 20 years from now, I will still remember it, and I will still let you know, hey, that on X amount of day 2022, B9 was wrong as shit. Period. So it's never going to change. It's never going to be a different way. Like I said, I stand by every word that I've ever said. But if the intent of what I said got lost in translation, I own that till the day I die. Go ahead, J. Pam. I'm
I
sorry.
And
appreciate
before J Pam go, if you just want coming in, man, thank you for being here, getting this wealth of knowledge. If you just getting here, you missed the first half of the show, man. It's something that you have to go back and watch from the beginning, because this is just pure education at its finest. And I know that we have some shows that we talk about things, but this right here, this is for our people to educate you guys on what has happened, what is happening, and what we're going to do moving forward. So thank you guys for being here. Please hit that subscribe button when you're walking in. Because the bigger we get, the more we can spread our wings out to the community and to everyone. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and go in the comments and let us know how you really feel about what we're talking about. So J Pam, thank you for being here today. And I want to get what you what you have to say. Go ahead, and then we'll move on to Montreal.
Okay. Just really quick, you got someone in the chat named Anna M. She says she's in there, or they say they're in Arizona and want a network. Who else up here is in Arizona? Patrice? Anybody else? Just okay. So anyway, as B9 said, I put myself out there. I brought my whole purpose to moving to Arizona was to restart my life and to help others build a foundation and start over. I kind of knew that when I stood up and made that speech in 2020 after the death of George Floyd, that eyes would be on me, but didn't understand what that truly meant. Putting your mouth out here, it's not just words, y'all. It's your whole spirit is on the line. They see you, they know you, and they're looking for you. Whenever you say, whatever you do, they show up in places. You can call them agents, ops, bots, whatever it is. It's a real thing. It's been around since the ever, as far as I'm concerned. If I think back, well, more, let me get to the point of what I wanted to say. Dr. Joy, I think, is absolutely amazing. And she talks about post-slavery stress syndrome, or whatever it is.
Post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Yeah,
Thank
there you
you.
go.
Now, the reason why I say I was diagnosed with complex PTSD with dissociative identity disorder after my cousin was, I'm going to be respectful, after my cousin was deleted by the Memphis Police Department. And they also said that he actually did it and not them. Now, here's the thing, y'all. If you think about it, look at all of the years and centuries, decades of trauma that those of us coming out of the deep South know about. about the history that has happened to our people. That 70% of us that come up out of there, moved up through the Great Migration, and eventually ended up in California or wherever, we're all the same batch of folks. Those of us who spent more time in the Deep South throughout the years coming through this growth of America have a deeper understanding of the oppression that's always been on the people of this nation. What I try to say to people is the God of the books may have gotten you through, but that book was given to you, and so was the language you use in order to understand it. So, how about if you take some of their other books that they use to understand their language and pull it apart? I suggest that you start with the word pain because it's the first one that I could see it clearly. As soon as you look at the definition of the word pain, it says suffering. How could you not think about your life after that? When you go to the doctor and they suggest that you have a chronic pain illness, you know that you're going to be suffering for the rest of your life unless you make a choice to seek out the positivity, right? To seek out that greater thing, that thing in you that makes you smile even when you're in pain. We talk about theme songs or finding your spoons or whatever it is that they use as the terminology these days. But in reality, it's finding your spirit, that thing that will help you to get going in the day. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it might be a little drink, sometimes it might be cannabis. But it's all to bring you back to your balance and your peace, your center, and then move your life forward, baby. After that, you can come together. We got to come somewhere. We got to come to our own peace inside of ourselves and then seek out other peaceful people and come together as a community and then move forward. And I always say, lead the rest of them to them damn selves. Get out of the system. I keep hearing about all these black folks with all this damn money. Where y'all at? If you got so much money that you can save and do all of these things, can you not save enough for 2 years to take yourself out of the system and then figure out how to be positive, strong, up-minded individuals and lead your community to better? I ain't got a pot to piss in, but God damn it, I'm happy, and I will lead anybody who was willing to say, I will go. I will take the knocks. I will take the hits. It's gonna be a long ass journey, but we're gonna get there together, and we're gonna have something greater to stand on that is ours. I apologize. I couldn't help myself. I'm done
Oh no,
talking.
you're good. This is unfiltered. Come on, come on.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I wanted to get it out. We have got to start doing better. The things that I've seen when I first started here on Monday, I felt so much love from the community when I came back. I've been gone for over a month and a half, y'all. Just I was sick, I died, I came back. It's been a lot going on. And then when I come back, I'm told that I'm crazy, that I can't lead nobody, I'm rude and disrespectful. How amazing is that? What kind of spirit must you have that you can talk to somebody like that when they can tell you that they know that they spoke to God recently and God damn it, it was a beautiful experience. You might want to hear it and get you some pearls of wisdom. Why are we so angry? Why are we so ugly? What did it to you? How can we help you? That's what I'm here for. You can be angry with me. I'll be the villain in your story in the end. But tell me your story so I can try to help you get through it.
Thank you so much, J Pam, for that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Moving on to my brother here, Mandrell. Big bro, what you got? You muted. You muted.
No, me a Canadian born.
No,
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
here.
Go ahead.
All right.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Connect.
I can't stay too long. I'm busy working. But what I will ask is this: I'm a guy who have been trying since I was young, trying to break the divide because I understand the division that been put in place with the African American and with the African diaspora in the Caribbean. Because my own parents have a different ideology concerning African American, which I refuse to follow. So you can imagine, beside these old school parents that have that mentality, you gotta ask the question: where did this idea come from? Yet African people were colonized while African American people were put into slavery. But while they were going through these things, who was putting these narratives into their mind to carry on to the next generation? That's the first thing I look at. I wonder very few who had a backbone not to accept the ideology. This is why I get pushed back when I tell people certain things from my side of the family and went to the other side. People don't get that the game being played unless you see it clearly, you will not understand that. So I'm not here to argue with people. I'm here to let people know there's something that's going on behind the back end that a lot of people are not seeing or understanding. Unless you take the time and the patience, stay in the shadow, observe, analyze, and understand what is going on, you will keep going back and forth. I might be a 42-year-old guy. Sometimes I act like I'm 83 because I understand what I'm seeing and I understand what I'm observing. This is why I said what I said. Their division put in place for a purpose because if there's unity, there's a problem. Why you think a lot of African countries going frequent back and forth, like Nigeria versus South Africa, Nigeria versus Ghana? There's a reason behind that because once there is unity, there is a problem.
Thank you, Canadian born. I appreciate that, Black David. Um, Anybody want to respond to that? OG Patrice, anybody?
No, I just want to say I agree. It's on both ends, but it's a root of where it started. I was just on a panel yesterday, talking about ADOS and the whole Tariq Nasheed fight with some Africans. And soon as I got up on the panel, uh, they start coming at me, calling me the Akata, and I know you know what that means, Canadian born, and I hadn't said one word yet. So it's the disrespect, it's the banter back and forth, just in the chat, just being just so rude and disrespectful. Yeah, so it goes deep. It goes deep. But I'll just leave it at that. And I know that every African and every immigrant is not like that because I've been on many panels with you, Black David, and I got mad respect for you, and I've never heard you disrespect anyone. But that's real. It is happening, and it's coming from immigrants.
All right, Mandrill.
Well, they're definitely right about the divide that David was talking about. Absolutely, he's absolutely correct. If there's unity, there's a problem. But the thing is, we still don't understand, and I'm hesitant to use this word, but because I'm not sure what position is going to put me in life. But you still don't understand your enemy. And I'm very looking. I mean, Pam, you don't know. I don't know if you know anything about my history or whatever, my previous work history, but spent a lot of time behind the scenes and behind the curtain, rubbing elbows and shaking hands with people with real power, people you don't know and you're never gonna know, but they're the real movers and shakers. And that's why every time I'm online, I'm careful with what I say. But you're right. It amazes me how people like you guys on this panel, how right you guys are, but you have no way to confirm it. Like some of the stuff you say are off, but like it's amazing just how spot on most of the stuff you guys say are. And it's like most of the stuff you say, you guys, I've heard you guys on the panel now, bullseye, 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 like you're hitting on all cylinders. And it's like, yeah, but in the divide, that's on purpose. If you take people who are on an island or in Africa, you spin the narrative. African Americans are this, African Americans are that. Then they get here and they see African Americans in that state that they told them about. Okay, then they're gonna like, all the propaganda was right. Why you guys been here 400 years and you still ain't got shit? That's what an African guy asked me one time. And what I told him is we were forced to be in this position. I said we didn't even start breaking out of real poverty until the 70s. I was born in 78. I'm a part of the first generation born outside of segregation. That wasn't a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? So, like my parents, they were born in segregation. When they were born, segregation is in full effect. I mean, this is a long time ago. And it's done. We were held here, and this propaganda spin, the narrative was spent on purpose to keep us divided. Because think, all those Nigerian Africans come over here, open African restaurants. All those people from the Caribbean come over here, opening Caribbean restaurants and laundromats. And then African Americans, if we were allowed to get educated, if we were allowed to go to college and become doctors, lawyers, and things like that. But by the time we were able to do that, I mean, how much of an ass whooping can you take? It was 400 years of brainwashing, ass beatings, and demoralization. 400 years of it. And then they took us, house niggas, field niggas. They divided us here. So all that division, look at how much work we got to do. We got to repair ourselves as African Americans and the black people from other countries. We had to get them to join. And then, yes, they kill our leaders. They divided our leaders. Martin felt one way, Malcolm felt another. Martin found out later that he was wrong and Malcolm was right.
He did.
He in two of his speeches, like one of them, I remember being a child and I was watching, of course it's a rerun of the speech, but my mom sat there and told me, I'm a child at the time. She said, look at that, you see that? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, he knew he was gonna die. He knew it. He knew it was in the speech where he says, I've seen the promised land and I might not get there with you, this, that, and the other. You know the speech I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
That speech there, my mother read through that. And she's like, he knew he was going to die. And then I think that was his last speech. But the one before that, I think Black Man Unfiltered played that speech. He when he said, we're going to come and get our check. Yeah, he knew full well that he had been had. He listened to what the government told him. And later he realized, yeah, they're not going to give us shit. And it's all done on purpose because capitalism has to have a lower class. The problem with it is that the big mistake America made was choosing that middle class. You can't do that and make it work. The lower class, middle class, working class, upper class, and the rich and the wealthy, it all has to fall where it falls. You have to let the chips fall where they may. Otherwise, you get what's coming to it. America ain't gonna be on top forever, but it's damn sure gonna try violently. In fact, so I mean, like I said, it just I said it. I think I told it to Black Man Unfiltered before. It amazes me just how spot on some of you guys are at times. Like you figured this shit. A lot of you figured a lot of this shit out. There's still a lot more you need to know, but yeah, y'all on the right track.
And let me say this.
Black man, check the back chat. I want you to pull that up. The back chat.
Okay. And I'll pull it up right now. I want this because Mandrell was on to something, and
right.
Mandrell
he straight up.
And and for the people that don't know, Martin Luther King, these were his words. He says, "I've lived long enough to see my dream turn into a nightmare." And he woke up right at the end. And when he woke up, look at this. I'm gonna fix this, guys. As long as he was dreaming, it was okay. But when he woke up, we got to get rid of him. Because now he's putting a narrative in the minds of people, and now that narrative is coming to life. We got to get rid of it. And so I want to play, before we respond, I want to play that again. It's like 1 minute and 14 seconds. I want to play that video of Martin when he woke up. And this is what got him deleted. I'm telling you.
And the day he died,
listen to this.
He famously said, I'm afraid I let my people into a burning building.
Yeah. Here it is.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
And he was talking about the reparations. He was talking about the reparations even then when he realized that they was giving millions of dollars. They gave millions of dollars back to the very people that enslaved our ancestors. They actually gave money to them.
Millions.
And 2 weeks later after that,
he was gone.
He was gone. He was assassinated.
And
like I said, the morning he woke up, he told Jesse Jackson and his entourage, he said, I'm afraid I've led my people into a burning building that morning. And then when he stepped outside, that was it.
I just want to, like, I recently, I'm not kidding y'all, just went through the shit. If you look at my video before my first live on Monday, it was about, I don't know, a month ago. And I explained, one, that I've been attached to the military my entire life. But two, I just found out at 46 that I am not only autistic, but I have an eidetic or photographic memory, which means that if I concentrate hard enough, I can find that thing in my memory and bring it up like a full blown picture and give you detail by detail. So after that, I magically end up sick. I got COVID. They do everything they can to get me into the hospital. Even I'm missing for 48 hours, get me back home. They come get me from my home and put me into the hospital, try to make me stay there, take whatever drug it is necessary. They even have a canine med surge floor. So I understand there's someone in the back who continuously is saying, you need to hide, don't say anything, go to Discord. But why? No matter where we go, no matter what we do, they are going to seek out our united voices and try to tamp them out. Do it in the light of day. Be transparent about who you are. What I can say, and some of the others who are being told not to say anything, is because we are attached to the government. When it comes to looking at my back history and trying to say, well, no, she's this, that, or the other, I've been vetted by the government. Go ask them. When it comes to everybody standing right here beside me, go look at everything that I have ever done in my past when it comes to my people and how long I have been speaking. I'm so tired of hearing, go sit in the back, go talk about it in the back room, go be quiet some more. Stand your ass up and tell the goddamn truth and bring it all down. It is about time for some damn change. It is about time that we do different and daily until they understand we are not playing anymore. I will not ask you for another goddamn thing. I'm taking it. I command respect everywhere I go. And it's time that every black person who knows their strength, power, and voice do the same and lift up the rest of them.
Man,
Right
Brian,
on.
Brian, what's going on?
Oh man, what's going on, black man?
What's up,
Oh man,
Brian?
what's
Hey,
going on,
nothing much,
man?
nothing
What
much.
you got? What you got on the matter, man?
Man, hey,
They've been
bottom
they've been, they've
line.
been spitting up here, bro. They've been
Oh
spitting.
yeah, I was loving what I was hearing, man, and especially with OG Patrice. I align with what this sister always speak about and bring to the table. I'm more vulgar with mine though, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be respectful today. But I do agree with her on the immigrants that come here and be very, very disrespectful to our ancestors here in America. Just the disrespect, just how they come, how they look down on us and everything. It's always been that tribalism mindset they bring to this country. And it's not right. See, us out here, we not tribalistic like that. They got that tribalistic shit out there in Africa and these other countries with these Igbo tribes and all that stuff. So they bring that over here with their distaste towards us. Not all of them. Not all of them, because there's some cool ones out here, but it's just some of them. Some of these people in high positions that we can't get in because of them. I think it's Howard University. It's an immigrant, a black immigrant over there, only bringing in their own. And a lot of our African American kids can't get into some of these medical programs. It's sad, bro. It's sad for us to get spit on how they do. But like I always say, when we go to their country, we be respectful as hell. We be respectful. We even embrace Africa back in the back in the late 80s and 90s and stuff like that.
Still
You know what
do.
I'm saying? So, and we still do. But it's just the disrespect that they give to us, like we don't have no culture or nothing like that. Cool. But the one thing about us, and Tariq Nasheed, I love that brother. I know a lot of people don't. But we did not flee our country. We fought that white boy down here. See, they're fighting each other in their country. We're dying against that white boy here. That's the difference. And that's why we got our land here. And that's why we living the way we live and not living how they living out there. And that's what I wanted to say. But I
I
love my
appreciate it.
African brothers.
Can I speak?
For sure.
Can I respond to that? I
Yeah,
get
you
what you're
can.
saying, Brian. I get what you're saying. But this is what I've been noticing since living in Nigeria for 7 years and being under the people with position. They were the narrative being pushed by for the longest until it was properly investigated. There was some reporter who had to risk their life to report it out there that the America, as well the European Union, was sending underground spy to tamper with certain elections to put certain people into position. And when they do that, they have certain control through them. If you look about Liberia, Willie Martin went out there. He found out the last five presidency in Liberia, these people were coming from the United States. They weren't born and breed in Liberia to take office. They came from out here. So there's the trick going on behind that for what was been going on. Again, I knew that for a long time. Something doesn't add up. Why is the African country going against each other for some period? For example, Nigeria versus South Africa, Nigeria versus Ghana. What was the purpose for all that for? If they were unified, what is wrong with that? The problem is they don't want African country to be completely unified. If they're completely unified, there's not much you can do or say to them. Remember, 2011, 2012, during the Obama and who this other idiot who were fighting for presidency during that
Biden.
election? No,
Oh,
2012. Mitt Romney, I remember now. During
yeah,
that
Romney.
election, there was a commercial that put on the air. I remember today, they like it was yesterday, where they had these Chinese folks who were mocking the USA, saying that all their debt is being controlled. You should change the name from USA to United States of China. That was aired only one time and one time only. I don't think everybody remember, but I do remember it. During that time, the Chinese dropped all their debt that they purchased from the U.S. onto the market, and Saudi Arabia and people from Abu Dhabi bought it. At that moment, they put their focus toward to Africa.
A
That was the
Canadian black
purpose,
man. Canadian black man. I know all this shit. I
Yeah,
understand all that. A lot of us understand that. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
and I
We
get that.
understand. Hold on, listen. We understand the enemy here because we in the belly of the beast. So we know that I get y'all governments hoo hoo ha ha, but the white boy control y'all shit. We understand all that, bro. But our thing is this: y'all people come over here, become very disrespectful, and just like we all been saying, it's they
And that what I'm
undermine
trying to
what
get
we
to my,
trying to
and
do.
that's what I'm trying to get to
But
my
and
point.
that's my point. Like I get it, I get white supremacy, do all that,
And
but
I'm trying to
y'all
get to
and
that point
y'all
on that.
not. And I just want to say this too: y'all not even the fight, man. Y'all ain't really got the power what we trying to knock down. It's that Chinese boy. That's who we really got an issue with. That
And
Chinese
let me
boy and that
no,
white boy.
let me get to my
So
point.
so
I
that's
get
what
what
I'm
you're saying.
saying.
I get what you're saying, Brian. But let me get to my
It's
point.
about
Well, that
economics,
is
man. But
what
I'm
that
cool though, bro. I just want to get that off, man. That's
and I
all.
get what you're saying, but let me explain my point. While that is going on, there's a divide. There are certain people from Africa who don't believe in that type of non. They want to create unity. They're getting chewed out. There are civil rights activists that are getting murdered in Africa because of this situation. For example, in my country, before I left my country, there was a particular tribe that was on petroleum. They got completely wiped out because of that. And whenever who speak about it, it committed a crime just to speak about it. The other time before I left, if you say anything negative about a president, you get the firing squad. People will leave
Black
the
people
country because
killing
of that.
y'all though, right? White folks was killing us here in
No,
America, bro, when we were trying
like
to fight.
Brian,
And
Brian, let me
y'all,
finish.
I
Brian,
get it
let
though,
me,
bro. I get it.
Brian,
I get
hold
it.
on,
I get in
hold
my
on,
feeling with this shit.
Brian, let me finish.
I'm
I
in
get
my
what you're trying to
feeling.
say. While this is going on, we had dictatorship, right? Now we had the so-called democracy. The last couple of presidents who came into democracy are former dictator. I had an issue with that. I pointed out with my uncle. My uncle was in high places. I pointed out with my peers. Why is that going on for some apparent reason that makes no damn sense? The same people who was in dictatorship, who ruined the country, came back as civilian president. How can you do that? What sense did that make? Get what I found out. When there was an election, the election got rigged several times. A lot of people didn't want to vote the former dictator into office. What happened because they got connected in high places, they rigged the election and put themselves in office. There's the reason why we have it within our own country. Like the NSTAR Institute, what you saw, they've been going on for 30 years. I was there in junior high when my country got shut down. My uncle had to pick me up. One of my classmates got hit with an AK-47 bullet. I went to multiple war and hit him in the stomach. To this day, he still have it in his stomach. You cannot remove it. There was something going on in behind closed door on a higher level, whereby certain people who are, how would I say, ignorant, drunk in power, don't want to let it go.
Hey,
This is
black
not a
man.
new thing. This is why I say I understand what's going on. There's some people who had the ignorant mindset he came to the US, brought that over here, and there's other who not accepting that, trying to fight against it. They can only do it out here, but they can't do it over there. Because you know why? If you speak up about it, if they see that you don't know what's going on, they take you out.
Right
So
now,
they
let
had
me
to
do this
divide
real quick.
within Africa. They had to
Right.
divide in Africa for a specific reason. The problem is you can't do it in front of their face. A lot of people lost their lives standing up for what is right in Africa. Not only in Nigeria, in other countries. It's not only in Ghana that led an example. Because the reason why the guy who is the president of Ghana is a former warlord. Think when I
Ethiopia
say
was like that too, and
think,
so was
think when
Congo.
I say
Once
that
upon a time.
the the president of Ghana is a former warlord. Why was he able to do what he did and say what he did without no repercussion? Because they know he had connection. You can't touch somebody who got groundwork connection that you not touch them. Because they know if you try to do anything to him, something happen to you.
Hey,
Do what I tell people, you cannot say anything about Africa unless you know what's going on the inside out first.
Okay, so real quick, I think that Godfrey, the comedian, is he's Nigerian, right? And
Yeah,
so
his parents are Nigerian.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
his
yeah, yeah,
parents are
he's
Nigerian. Yeah.
Igbo. He's
yeah,
Igbo.
and
He's a
so yeah,
Nigerian, but he's Igbo.
okay. So he did an interview that
The DJ
OG
Vlad
Patrice
interview.
graced me with, yeah, and I want
I
to show
saw
you
that.
guys this interview he did about what you guys are talking about right now. Fair use for informational purposes only. All right, here we go. Fair
Close the
use.
shirt too, by the way.
Oh, I love it.
You love it?
I love it.
Can't wait for this.
That's how Soul Plane got good. It was me and Snoop Dogg.
Or We Can Escape to. This is like everything that we have is right here. Even Africa, they don't really accept American blacks. They don't really like us.
There's a friction between American blacks and Africans.
Well, American
living.
blacks don't have no friction. They have a friction.
Yeah.
American blacks like everybody.
This is true.
We just like accept anybody come in our community. Oh, come on in, bring your store and all your goods and everything. We'll buy that shit. You might not be worth a damn, but we'll buy it. We'll support you.
Yeah, you're right. The racism comes from the African side.
Yeah, we don't have any American blacks. I feel have been giving away their stuff too long. It's time for us to become more conscious about everything that we do, what we do with it, who we allow to get our money. And I think that once they do that, it's gonna be a big difference. But no, we don't have anything against them. They have a friction against us.
He's right.
Right, but
He's so right.
so you're actually agreeing with this.
Damn right. Because
And you're African.
and I'm West African, Nigerian, but I was born in Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. My father went to school there. I have video on my Instagram. Comedian Godfrey, by the way. But it's the truth. Because if you remember the movie Sugar Hill,
Yep.
and there's a scene where they're doing the thing with the drug dealer, and the guy said, "We can't work with Akata. We can't work with Akata." That's a word that they were calling the American blacks, Akata, the Nigerians. Akata is a word that they use for American blacks. And Wesley Snipes was like, "Yo, what is this Akata shit you keep calling us?" And the guy goes, "We don't want to work with cotton pickers." And then Wesley beats the shit out of them. And but it's the truth. So African Americans and Africans have always had friction. You know what I'm saying? But Africans, and I know some Africans are going to probably be like, "I don't like what you..." Man, whatever.
People were upset over this clip. This clip started to go viral on Twitter.
Why are they getting upset at that? First of all, it's the truth. Africans come to America, and there's a lot of my African American friends say, man, a lot of Africans are really mean towards us. They're really nasty towards us because they feel they're better towards us. And I think it's the wrong attitude to take because I'm West African, but I was born here. My friends are African American and African. I think it's fucked up because here's the thing. Africa, like whether you say Nigerians or Ethiopians, whatever, we were colonized by Europeans, man. We were colonized. We were treated like shit. Look at South Africa. With all the Dutch, they've shit on South Africans, man. And finally, I think South Africans, with the help of Julius Malema and all these, they're trying to take some of their shit back. Dutch people are fucked up towards fucking black Africans. And the fact that a South African, a white South African calls himself African, to me is fucking ridiculous. Like, you're Dutch. You just didn't leave. How the fuck do you steal African from somebody? How do you go? Listen, if I was born in China, Vlad, and I said I'm Chinese, I've lived there my whole life, would you believe me? Would you believe that I was Chinese? If I said, listen, and I even have the accent, listen, I'm Chinese. I promise. I've been there all my life. Would you believe me?
Yes, I would.
You would say I'm Chinese. You would believe I was Chinese. You wouldn't say, hey, you're a black dude. You just happen to be in China.
You could be third generation Chinese.
No, I was like, no, what if I lived there all my life? I'm Chinese. I go ni hao and I speak Taola.
I mean, you consider yourself American?
But what you would believe I was Chinese, though?
Well, I believe you're American.
Would you say I'm black first? Would you look at me as a black man first? I was like, if
you never open your mouth, first
if I didn't open my mouth and I'm sitting here
I
like
would
this,
first see you as a black person.
You would say there's a
then
black guy.
And then
right
you would
there.
open your mouth and
I go, you wouldn't believe that shit. You'd be like, there's
Chinese black guy.
There's a black dude doing some Chinese shit.
Fair
I don't know
use.
what the fuck that was.
Fair use.
But it's like when white South Africans, that's not even real. You're not even genetically an African. The fuck? You don't even live amongst the black ones. It's that same mentality that Africans have when they come and I've had relatives, man, I'm not going to name them. I've had relatives go, oh, we're better than African Americans. I go, no, we're not. Because I was just stopped by the police the other day.
All right,
you
so
should let that play out.
Let me respond to that. Let me respond to that.
They don't care if you're the police are not
Let
going
me
to care
respond
if
to
you're
that.
from Africa,
hold on,
real
quick. So since we got, because I got to get back to this business. I got my work business. So I got 10 minutes left in the live. So I'll make it quick. There. So I'm gonna let you go first, and then we'll let everybody go. But
I'll make it quick.
Yeah,
what he said is what I've been arguing about for the longest. That's the same exact thing. But Akata doesn't mean cotton pig. I found out the full name. Akata is a Yoruba language that called African American animal. And I had a problem with that. I confronted my uncle, my aunt. Why are they calling African American Akata animal when Nigerians are worse than that to begin with? When other people are worse than that to begin with? They tell me to shut up. I don't know better. I'm married to a
Nigerian
Trinidadian woman.
man called me on the panel that I was on yesterday before I said one word, and he was Nigerian from Africa. That's
And
what he
guess what?
called me.
The moment I got married to a Trinidadian woman, I consider to be the black sheep of the family. My wife is from Trinidad, and I'm proud of to say that. But the what I've been dealing with from birth, growing up, with the mindset that people think they're better. You call Nigerian the pride of Africa, the too prideful. Garfield, what he said in that video is totally correct. No matter what I'm dealing with. He's Igbo, I'm Yoruba. We both understand that word. So this was what we're going on. We're the next generation who has to fight against these things. There's some people in my family are afraid to say this because you know what? Of inheritance. There's something connected. They got dealing with the what being passed down to them. They don't want to be considered to be black and get cut off. I got cut off on mines. So if I go back to my country to collect what is mine, I gotta fight for that thing with two blood and tears. So think about what I'm dealing with.
So anybody else? So we got 6 minutes left. I'm sorry, 6 minutes. So anybody else want to respond real quick? Take 30 seconds, everybody.
Yeah,
anybody?
I want to say something real quick, man. So we have to realize that what God said is that they were colonized just like we. So what we have to realize is that we're arguing with the other victims on the other side of the world. We're all victims here, ladies and gentlemen, and we're not going to get anything solved if all we're doing is infighting with the victim, with the other victims. The problem is that we have to realize that this is not a system that they just built for America. This is a globalized system of control. There's a reason why they never brought the metric system to the New World. The metric system is the equivalent of respecting your flag. We don't respect flags here. We go off the standard system. We go off of inches and feet. So because our system is different, we deal with black and white. We don't deal with flags. But you can be the whitest of white or the blackest of black. If you're born in Jamaica, from their system, you're Jamaican. End of story. So we have to realize that all of this infighting that we doing, all of these things that we do to find a reason to separate ourselves from anybody that looks like us is their game. And they're winning. There's a reason why soccer was never brought here to America, because they know that this is the new world. We replaced what they call football with our own version of football, making their football our soccer. We don't work off the same system, but we expect the same results from other people.
I totally agree.
The system is different, so how we deal with each other has to be different.
Exactly.
We have to understand that We are the most intelligent, the freest, even though we still have oppression, we have freedoms that other people don't have. So the onus is on us to be the leaders. Even if they are disrespectful, even if they don't understand how important our leadership is, same argument that and Black Man Unfiltered and Mandrell have heard these words before. Same thing I was saying yesterday. It's the onus is on us as the leaders, as the better people, to say, you know what, you dead wrong, but I'ma still guide you out of this quicksand. I'm still gonna make sure that you and your family, and as wrong as your ass is, still understand that we better together versus trying to do this with just Black Americans or just Caribbeans or just Africans. The white man made a mistake by making this a color battle. We now are the majority if we accept the rules that they set up. But we won't come together and be the unity and the strength that we're supposed to be because we always have an excuse not to like someone else. We always have, and y'all said it yourselves. While we're hating on other people, we're letting them still come into our neighborhood and make money. And all of the Asians, East Africans, they run the convenience stores here in DC.
What get me is the Asians, like down here where I live, all the beauty supply stores that Black women go to, and myself, because, you know, but at the same time, they're all owned by Asians, the Koreans. It amazes me that sisters don't run that shit. Like, that should be yours.
It's a
I
billion
mean,
dollar
lock, stock,
industry.
and barrel. If
Billion
nothing
dollar
else is.
industry. Yep. I live in Arizona, and I thank God when I moved here, I found the Black barber to cut my hair. I found the Black beauty supply store, and thank God it's literally right across the way from my house because I would go out of my way wherever I lived. I would go out of my way to find Black owned beauty supply, Black owned nail shop, Black owned barber shops specifically. I
And I
would.
got
Patrice,
one
you
more.
know that they even go so far as, you know, that black soap that we use?
Hey, Black man gotta
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Black
got
man
it.
gotta
They
go.
got it in there too. The Koreans. It's like, what the
Black
fuck?
man gotta go, y'all.
And
Black
so,
man gotta go.
yeah, so I will say this, amen. Thank everybody for being here. Everybody that's in the chat, thank you for being in the chat. Thank everybody for being on the panel today to enjoy this news, man. I love the conversation. We're going to continue to have these. I'm on every day, guys, on every day at 12:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. So please join me in these discussions because these are discussions that has to be had for
I
sure.
just want to say something right quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want our people to realize that our history is American history. Our ancestors built this goddamn country for free 99. So when they are not teaching it in our schools, the onus is on us to teach it to our children and our children's children. The same way we have to pass things down generationally. We have to do that because they're
Mm-hmm.
not allowing these things to be taught in our schools. So that is our responsibility. The onus is on us, guys. Black history is American history. And don't let nobody tell you different.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so
Exactly.
much. As we, Brian, thank you for being here. Canadian born, thank you for being here. Mandrell, thank you. J Pam, thank you. B9, you always know I love you, man. Thank you. OG Patrice, thank you as well. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. This has been an amazing, amazing show. If you guys want to stay in the background real quick, I'm gonna talk to each one of y'all, so don't go nowhere. But thank you guys for being here. This has been Unfiltered News. We'll see you guys same time, same place on tomorrow. Peace.